All right, this week on the show, we are going to be fearlessly questioning doing the dirty work with Joy Groblebe. She is the founder of the Frontline Group and manages artists or speakers or authors like Michael Hyatt and Ken Davis. And she is doing things on a day-to-day basis that really kind of exemplifies the dirty work. And when I say the dirty work, stop it, first of all. When I say that, it's just the stuff that we overlook or don't want to do, or we get bogged down with too often, and we often consider the unprofitable stuff or the things that anybody can do. And it's something that, the more you kind of get into this whole business and marketing and all that fun stuff, all that stuff, you find out, well, boy, I know I can do everything. And that was kind of my goal, starting out was, I'm going to teach myself how to do everything. I'm going to learn how to do everything that I need to do. And that's a great attitude to have. And I think I've learned a lot from it. I don't know if you're kind of the same way, but what I found is that, and what obviously more, smarter people than I will tell you is that when you start to do things that you are not, ultimately uniquely qualified for, you will, find the quality suffering, and you will also find that you do not have time to focus on the things that will actually make the most impact and, enhance the skill set that you have and really just push your business forward. And I'm hoping to talk to Joy about that and kind of understand where those lines are. When do you get to the point where, one, you're able to do that? When should you look to do that? If, maybe we should be looking to do it sooner than we think. And it's really kind of a hard thing for people to decide, because it isn't, cheap for us, to, bring people on and to have them do extra things for us. But it is one of the most necessary and vital things to ultimately grow your business. And identifying and understanding the subtleties of that line and how to get to it faster than maybe we expected, I think is something that we all could walk away from and probably give ourselves a self 5 on, because it's something that, again, is very important. And, I think there's really two ways to go about this. And there are people that, will, again, take every challenge head on and try and teach themselves. And there are others that will try and do everything they can to get around it. And, understanding understanding who those people are and why they do what they do, it's going to be interesting. I think what I wanted to rant today about is that we sometimes get so caught up in whatever it is that we're doing, we ignore the things that we should or should not be doing. And that can create problems, and that can create things that might not necessarily produce the best results and ultimately not, create the best outcomes. And if we can find a better way to understand it, find a faster way to get there, and to ultimately do better work, to do work that we enjoy, and take all the stuff out that we don't necessarily enjoy, and really figure out the easiest way to do that. Because I think 80 to 90% of us out there in our jobs probably struggle with that and think, boy, I could be doing so much more if. But then it really comes down to, well, am I just lazy? Am I not, wanting to do the work? And, again, can we do the work? Yes. Should we do the work? I don't know. And these are questions that I don't necessarily have the answers to, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to provide them for you. And I'm hoping that's what Joy will be able to help us with, is understanding exactly when, things like this need to be implemented. Again, it's kind of, it's like a question that I asked back on our fourth show, episode 4, with Ginny Dietrich of Spin Sucks. And we fearlessly questioned public relations. I said, it feels like there is a bit of elitism, if you will, in the PR industry. Not the sense that they think that they are better than everybody else, but in the sense that really only the big players have the budgets to afford a full-on PR agency. And, if that's something that is absolutely necessary. And, I think that is kind of the same thing with this whole, having somebody do your own dirty work. It's like having somebody come clean your house and do your laundry. It's something that we only think, rich people have the luxury of doing. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case. And again, valuing our time over our effort, and how do we make those distinctions? Because, again, people think you're crazy if you become too lopsided on one side of the scale And I guess maybe it's going to be understanding the balancing act of where we think, or where Joy thinks, or where you think the balancing of the scale should occur and how it should occur. And that is what I'm most interested to get out of this conversation with her. And I really don't have much more to kind of say other than that. I just know that I see a lot of people that might be in a position already to do those things that aren't. And those who aren't even considering that as an option, and they continue to discuss how overwhelmed and frustrated they are. And that, I think, is an interesting look at the mindsets of people who are, one, successful to some extent, and two, are not successful at all, but are unwilling to try and think of anything or to do anything to change that success or lack thereof. And honestly, that's become one of the biggest themes of the show, just running throughout, is that ability to not define insanity on a daily basis. And that's kind of what all these questions come down to, is because we just do these things because, and don't really take the time to think about why or how or when or if, and all those different things. And doing the dirty work, doing the stuff that nobody wants, to do necessarily. It's not the sexy stuff. It's not necessarily always the fun stuff. I guess when I think about doing the dirty work in my own business, I like recording these videos. Well, I don't necessarily like editing them and spending the 30 minutes to an hour afterwards packaging them up, getting them ready, posting them, and putting all the keywords in and the descriptions and writing this text in the blog post that's just summarizing everything. And that's the kind of stuff that sucks the life out of me. And can you find the stuff that sucks the life out of you, and can you replace it and have somebody else do it for you and still be able to run your business and still make money? And I think the smart people find out how to do that as fast as they possibly can. And the others just end up getting burnt out, possibly because they're doing too much with too many different things. But those are some of the questions that I think we're going to explore and explore with Joy. And hopefully she has some good answers. I think she does. I mean, she obviously works very closely with a lot of successful people and has made a living out of handling the stuff that people don't want to handle. And that's pretty interesting in and of itself. So I think it's going to be a fun conversation. That's going to be Thursday coming up here, October 2nd, of course, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have some questions for Joy, feel free to leave them wherever you're finding this, comments, wherever, and we'll be sure to get them to her. And of course, don't forget, if you have a fearless question of your own that you want to actually come onto the show and ask Joy, we'll be ready. Bring it to the show, leave it in the event page, and just put the hashtag camera ready on there. And that'll let me know that you want to actually come onto the show and ask Joy that question to her directly. And we really want to mix you guys into the show and get you on here and talking and have your voice actually be heard, like really, like legitimately be heard, not just like me ask your questions. I think it's a lot of fun. I hope you kind of can, get a situation to where you can come and join us. If not, don't worry, I won't hold it against you too much. But if you are unable to make the live shows for whatever reason, feel free to subscribe in iTunes and Stitcher, or of course on YouTube, wherever you prefer to subscribe, whatever way makes you feel the best, and make sure that you never miss another Fearless question. But I do appreciate you taking the time with me today. Again, I am Joey Groblebe. I catch you guys on Thursday. Take it easy, everyone.